Scoobity dingy do, scoobity broncodoos, cleavity poop poodoo. This is an UPRS. We're doing some stuff. I got this. Let's try that again, because the timing was slightly off there. I got this. It's better. I'm gonna rotate the camera setup so that we have more light. That didn't do shit. Hold on. If I just move it over to the side here. That's better. God knows what gross things you saw on my floor. Was that blood? Let's just ignore that. Cover that up with this piece of styrofoam. There you go. Filming surface. Call it that. Anyways. Pop stations. Yeah. This video's already off to a great start. We're talking about some stuff today. This is not UPRS. This is not any sort of review. We're just talking about things. And I've got two pop stations. We're going to go over those in a sec. They look incredibly similar. There's a reason for that. But first I wanted to say thanks so much to everyone for hanging out here, being with me. We're almost at 300 subscribers, which is absolutely just incredible. I don't know how that one Robonagi glitch video is still my most viewed thing. Please, for the love of God, can someone else please make it something different? That video is like antique. It's vintage. I do plan to do some Furby content eventually. I've got some Furby stuff going and doing. I mean, I did some Furby content recently with the 2023 Furbies. I might do some more content with them. I've got a few little surprises planned for 300 subs, so stay tuned for those. You might be wondering why I didn't do a 250 subscriber special. I did actually. It was unboxing all of the hybrids and all the Queen Tech's pop station type dealio things. And I kept wanting to mention that it was a special, but then I kept forgetting. So just take those as your 250 subscriber specials. And leave, and don't leave actually, because there's more video. But anyway, so after those little announcements, on the main event, we have two pop stations. We're going to be comparing them. So I want to give you a little context on this one first. This is Queen Tech's QGH132, one of the first popping skip not you. Off, you're going to spoil the thing. One of the first pop stations to ever exist. These had very advanced hardware inside of them. There goes the dishwasher. Are we done? Okay. As I was saying, very advanced hardware inside of these. Most pop stations that you see nowadays, actually, I'm going to zoom this in so that it covers the whole thing, have significantly dumbed down hardware inside of them. Don't know why I'm tapping this. So this actually has slightly more advanced hardware inside of them. We'll go over, and then this is a clone of it. I believe these originally did have labels of some sort. I believe these did originally have labels of some sort on them, around here. Although mine might have not, because there doesn't seem to be any evidence of it, but there were ones that did have labels. This is a very obvious clone. This one appears to have a slightly more advanced sound chip as well, not nearly as advanced as the Queen Tech's ones, but it almost seems like something that Gao Ming would do with one of their consoles. Although it does include a longer version of the City Fighter jingle, so that makes me wonder if it's somehow an earlier ROM, or if they just improvised, or if they just found what the song was and just like recreated it. Because that City Fighter theme has to be like from an original song somewhere. So we're going to be comparing these real quick, comparing and contrasting gameplay, ROMs, etc., so on and so forth. Start from the front. Actually, we're going to start from the back, because the back is the easiest side to get through. You can see this one has a screw hole, this one has a no screw hole. They both take double A's, but I don't have a screwdriver to show this one, so we'll just have to take my word for it unless this is a secret that the government doesn't want you to know. This runs on alien power, woo, but it doesn't because it runs on double A's. This bit comes off. You can see there are little tiny ridges here. Can't feel them. Little tiny ridges. This ridge here as well. These ridges are not present. They just sort of curve. And you can see they've sort of attempted to recreate the little ridging here that they've got. And they've done a pretty good job with the ridges that pop out like this. You can sort of see them if I lift them up here. And we'll go over the sides as well while we're at it. Pretty darn similar. They've done a pretty good replica of this. This one has something rattling around inside of it. It might be a screw, it might be something else. I don't remember. This one, anyway, onto the front. This one has, label, no label. Buttons are different. We'll talk about the actual tactility of the buttons. These feel about the same. This one feels a bit spongier. This one feels less spongier than this one. This one has significantly more travel on it, as opposed to this one not having it. Now the D-pad on this one is just utter garbage. Very stinky. If you want to press up, it feels like you're pushing up all the way in. It's very tactile. But fuck you, because you have to fucking almost break the thing to get it to register you pushing up. If you want to push the left button, screw you. There's something in the way there or something. I don't know. A and B are actually marked with, these just have sort of two little dots on them. If you can see, these actually have A and B sort of engraved into them. Here's the dots again. Here's the A and the B again. Anyways, this one has if you take this off, there's a glass screen underneath this, where this one, and it makes the sound that you would expect when you're tapping on glass. This one has a plastic screen. And you can even, if I pulled it down, much more glassy sound for this one. And then that's the action buttons here feel a lot more tactile than they do here. These are respectable buttons as well, though. These sort of feel a bit more spongy. These feel more like actual pop station buttons and not like legitimate video game console buttons. The Queen-Tech stuff is of fairly high quality. Other than that, you can see this bit is just molded in, whereas, again, it's a separate plastic panel here. The button layout is different as well. If you can make that out, we have on-off, reset, sound, and start, or sound and, no, it says pause, I believe. It says ST/PA, which is presumably start and pause. Whereas this one, we have sound, start, on-off, pause, and then a reset button down here. The interesting thing about this is the pause button would pause and unpause the game, whereas the start button would actually restart the level from the beginning on these older Queen-Techs ones. So, they did keep the separate start and pause button thing for a while, so you can see that on some earlier pop stations, but half of the time it doesn't do anything, and they're both just hooked up to the same button input. So it really doesn't matter which button you press, it'll pause or unpause the game, regardless. Whereas this one, they both actually had dedicated functions and go to different pins on the chip or whatever. That's about all I can say. I'm gonna turn this on. You're going to hear the sort of more advanced. I believe this is one of the chips with multiple voices, although it doesn't seem like they're actually putting those multiple voices to work here. And then we have sort of this confusing menu where, this player can, disappear and reappear. And I think this is to toggle multiplayer. But if you turn multiplayer off, or if you turn multiplayer on, which I'm assuming is this guy disappearing, the minute you start, it toggles it back on. That was a reset, but you get my idea. It's hard to see what any of these buttons are. Yeah. So that's about it for this one. Just traditional City Fighter, plays like City Fighter. Everyone's seen City Fighter before. This one, on the other hand, actually a bit different. You're gonna hear this. This one's chip actually has the ability to fade out sound, so you're gonna hear that right now. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I mentioned the sampled sound as well. It has sampled sound capabilities. This one actually has a custom crafted background where it looks like the HUD actually fits into those little slots here. These are for the little win or lose icons here, and you know, health bars, whatever, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. If we start it, you can see if we start it. It'll ask me if I want to be that guy, but if I hit start again, after it's done, see it doesn't do anything. So we have to pause, unpause it, start, doesn't do anything. So we have separate start button. This one's D-pad is got a lot less travel, but at the same time it feels like a real D-pad. It's very odd. So I just got brutally murdered there because I wasn't actually pushing any of the buttons. But yeah, so that is a little comparison between these two pop stations. Get that out of there. Oh god, now it's all grody.